Today is Wednesday, the 10th of June 2026. A pleasant good morning to you and a warm welcome to your breakfast show. Good morning, Sir Leone. The program that always starts your day with analysis and divergent of views on news and current happenings in the country. We are your presenters. I am Esther Sako.
I am Shaku Smiler, and the program you always watch is Good Morning, Sir Leone. What quote of the day is from an American screenwriter, Aaron Sorkin, and it says, "Don't ever forget that a small group of thoughtful people can change the world. It's the only thing that ever has." These are your wise words for today.
Okay, coming up in this edition of the program, ACC updates us on the outcome of the just concluded Southern Region Meet the People tour, engaging paramount chiefs and traditional authorities on key anti-corruption issues, including gifts, conflict of interest, assets declaration, and corruption reporting, among others.
We bring you a discussion surrounding the appointment of a Frenchman or a French national, Didier Gomez da Rosa, as the head coach of the national team, Leone Stars. All of these and more lined up in this edition of the program. Good morning, Sir Leone. Reaching you live from Broadcasting House, New England Vale in Freetown. Program you are still watching is Good Morning Sir Leone, live from the Sir Leone of Broadcasting Corporation Television and also through our social media handles. Now, the Anti-Corruption Commission ACC has concluded the Southern Region Meets the People tour, engaging paramount chiefs and traditional authorities on key anti-corruption issues, including gifts and how they are handled by public officers, conflict of interest, assets declaration, and corruption reporting, among others. The engagement forms part of the Commission's efforts to strengthen collaboration with traditional leaders whom it regards as indispensable in advancing integrity and accountability at community level. In the studios to talk more on this is the Deputy Director of Public Education and Outreach, ACC, and he is Silvanus Blake. Good morning, Mr. Blake, and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Sheku and the team.
Now, Meet the People tour, with specific reference or targeting chiefs and other traditional leaders. Tell us what's the rationale. What's the motivation behind this? What do you want to achieve from this?
Thank you so much. So the institution of chieftaincy is not only revered in our culture, it is one that we have to continue to protect, and we have to continue to make a central feature of our governance architecture, especially when it comes to leadership. Chiefs are the most sustained leaders we will have. Once they are elected, they are in very close proximity with their subjects, and they serve them till eternity. So if you continue to give them front roles in national development, one, you achieve sustainability. They are going to be there for a long period of time. And the people identify with the chiefs than or every other leader. They know them better. They are more proximate. They talk more. They interact more freely. And they are respected. Though some recent incidences are pointing otherwise, but largely chieftaincy is highly revered, and we hold them a lot of respect, and we hold them in high esteem. So corruption continues to be the only challenge this nation has. And regardless of the efforts we are putting into every other facet of our development architecture, if we don't win the war against corruption emphatically, many things may not fall into place easily. So if they have a role to play in development, like I have premised, and they are frontline leaders at those communities, you go to these chiefdoms, I'm a provincial man, the only semblance of governance there is the chief. The vehicle of the chief is the ambulance. The vehicle of the chief is what every important event is used to attend in the chiefdom, not only by the chief, but by his team of leaders. The chief is called upon for almost everything. I can't pay school fees, I can't help my child to get a job, I can't go to the hospital, it's the chief. So they are back with their people. And if we bring them into central roles and then give them the opportunity to not only lead well with transparency and accountability, but to be examples, we are sending a message.
One of the things, one of the corruption prevention measures of what you discussed, avoiding these engagements with traditional leaders, is gifts. And we all of us know what gift means to these traditional leaders. In fact, it is a tradition. The gift itself is a tradition. It has different names depending on the tribe or the region, as the case may be. Well then, how do you dichotomize gifts or border in certain areas? And I mean,
the requirements for accountability.
Bribery, for example.
So these are the reasons why the meetings were held and why the commissioner himself and his deputy were back. The requirements for accountability, we will not trade as a nation for anything. Customs and conventions are part of us. Our culture is part of us. We will never let go of our culture. But progress over the years teaches us for a neat marriage between the requirements of accountability and these cultural values. There is no law. In fact, we went to that to demystify some wrongly held notions. There is no law in this land that has banned exchange of gifts. In as much as that is strictly part of our customs and conventions, no law has said don't give gifts. But the law has brought a proviso, a guard against the exchange of gifts leading to potential conflict of interest situations. So all public officers, including our revered chiefs, are being put on their guard that you can give gifts. I can receive gifts. The quantum regardless. But the first thing I must do and you must do in giving and receiving, ensure the gift is not intended to compromise me and to put me into a conflict situation where I now have to accord what Sheku do not deserve because Sheku gave me a gift. Where Sheku will now have to give me what I don't deserve because I've been given it.
You have to go the line. You have to go this line.
So the threshold has been drawn by the law, and this is the education we took to our revered chiefs. The law is saying if you receive a gift in the discharge of your public duty, or independency of you being a public officer, and our chiefs are public officers, in fact revered ones, you declare the gift once it is ostensible. You declare the gift, and in declaring the gift, you tell who gave you the gift, what was given as a gift, and the relationship with that person. You are not giving the gift to anybody. It's your gift. That is in the records. So that I don't wake up tomorrow morning and accuse you, say, oh, he gave you the Rolex watch because he wanted you to support him and get the box to be a section chief.
So has the commission in any way been having complaints from members, residents in those communities about their power chiefs engaging in any corruption activities that led the ACC to go to the province to do this particular talk?
The commission is paying attention to the media, and this hardly regulated part of the media, the mass media, the social media, where you have all these bloggers, TikTokers, and all of these people, is a whole lot of information coming out. And the reason we moved, like the court, the People's Commissioner did put out Monday, a call for accountability is not an attack on constituted authority or power. It is a safeguard. We have seen videos, we've received complaints of all manner of things. In some chiefdoms, there are natural resources, most, if not all, in fact. And the chief has had a life before becoming a chief. Maybe he worked in some bank, in some public entity. The chief has children. The children could be doing well. The chief grew up with people. Anybody can be nice to anybody. If, for example, a paramount chief, one of our chiefs in Kono, whose chiefdom is Diamond the Furious, drives to town, a Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon, you can't stop any blogger from saying anything disrespectful about that chief. That's how disadvantageous the media is. So you see, oh, they've sold all our minerals.
But then massive community funds. Now, this chief, you've just made an analogy to, for example, a chief living in a Damospheros area. You know, we know there's wealth. But then, in a situation where community development funds, you know, are diverted, so that's a chief driving about what we're talking about, then it becomes a concern.
So that is exactly what I am saying. That as public officers, the scrutiny is on us. Public attention is on us. You cannot be able to draw the line between, if you don't know how he got the car and this alleged misappropriation of Diamond area development fund, of a surface rent, of a lease agreement that is meant for the general public. But then the regime on managing gifts has come to answer that question. If the chief is going to say by adventure that this is a gift, he will not tell us when the allegation comes. He has to tell us in his asset declaration and in the gift register that on the 10th of June 2026, Shepu, a friend I went to school with, gifted me a Rolls Royce, a Rolex watch. And this is my relationship with Shepu. So when an allegation comes about how I poorly managed resources meant for my chiefdom, the asset declaration can be verified to prove if it was a true story or not. And this is germane. So that is one of the education we took to them. And contrary to all these resistances that, oh, you've come to take away our respect, our privacy, we are demystified. They now understand. Because you won't stop people from accusing you.
So how was the reception like from these chiefs, especially when you go to them, okay, we are from ACC and we're here to tell you that you should be doing that asset declaration and there's a threshold for you receiving gifts. What was the response like from these chiefs? Because it was not the case before.
Rather, there is no threshold on gifts. There's rather a way to manage gifts. I mean, because these are very interesting. There is a way to manage gifts when they reach ostensible statuses. You manage them by declaring. You still keep your gift, you use it the way you want. Be sure in your head that Esther who gave me this gift is not coming to ask for something she doesn't deserve. Or somebody she wants doesn't deserve. Be sure this is your personal decision and choice you have to make as a public officer. And our chiefs have understood their public officer. The interesting point is, before the meeting started, the questions kept coming. You know, our commissioner is a traditionalist. He's a chief. He comes from a ruling family in Upper Bambara, and almost of us are traditionalists. So while during the normal courtesies, the questions were coming. Oh, why have you come to ask us about this? What is the respect there now? What is the privacy there now? But in the meeting, the issues are demystified. For example, if you are a chief, a public officer in such a high esteem, you can't stop people from accusing you because they put you in position of trust. They will say things. The duty is now on you to ensure they don't say things that are right. At any time they accuse you, either they are making mistakes or you set the record straight. And how do you set the record straight? Is by following the provisions of the law. For example, when we told them to declare assets, some of our chiefs, especially in my fatherland, Bont, we are saying, what do I have? The house I occupy was built by my great grandfather who was the paramount chief. The bush we have belongs to them. And then we told them in the meeting, the commissioner told them, before becoming a chief, you have worked somewhere. You were in the military, you were in the police, you were in public service. You built a house in Freetown. Your wife is an international businesswoman or a businesswoman here, or your wife is working somewhere. And then you owe some assets before becoming a chief. And today you are a chief, and they now see on any newspaper that a bank rented, like it happened in Kabbalah, one of the paramount chiefs, a bank rented his house and paid about $8,000 or so per annum. And he used that rent to travel to the US, and on his way coming, he bought a car. Do you expect that honorable paramount chief to go sit down in the community radio in Kabbalah to answer to all these questions that Usa put this motor car? But your asset declaration is that to say, I have a house on so-so street, I've rented it to so-so bank, and the income per annum is $8,000. That's your money. Asset declaration is a safeguard.
But don't you think, yes, you see it as a way to prevent corruption or to serve as a safeguard for even the chiefs themselves, for probably, in anticipation of false accusations or allegations as the case may be. But then don't you also think they might be thinking, oh, these guys, they really come, to expose us.
The witch hunt.
The witch hunt.
So those are some of the feelings she put before the meeting started, and those feelings we had eliminated even before the meeting ended. Because we last declaration here in 2024, we had about 98.6% declarants. And how many people declared who are in high places have ever come to say ACC is using my declaration to come after me? It's going to be kept that. What happens today in the fight against corruption, in our model progressive fight against corruption, is this: once your name comes up for some allegation, we visit your asset declaration, even before talking to you. So if you have not declared already, you've committed an offense. If you have declared and done so properly, a lot of questions will be answered even before coming to you. For example, we all saw in 2018 when the former spoke to His Excellency the President, went to Synagogue Church of All Nations, late T.B. Joshua's church, and testified of building a house, and it's a massive house. It became there was a backlash. You are just in president office, you build this kind of house. But for her asset declaration, that was going to be a trouble. So when we started the investigation, the first point of call was her asset declaration. This woman started building her house since 2013. She has been a diplomat for several years, worked in public service for several years. The husband was working. Children are now mature and working and sending remittances. When we put her emoluments together, it was worth to build a house like that. So there was no case. When we did release the presser that we have investigated, and this house was not built in 2018, in the few months she became spoke to Her Excellency, some people say, that's all that they protect. It's no protection. Our duty is to investigate. Where there is a crime, we hold people responsible. You pay back the money, ban you from holding public office, or we charge you to court. Where there is no crime, we have to come back to the public to state the facts. So the asset declaration, though it appears to be like, is a trap, you are taking our independence away, you are interfering to our privacy, it is done for obvious reasons, like I have stated.
Okay, continue to with us on the program is Sylvanus Blake. He is the Deputy Director, Public Education and Outreach, ACC. Well, the program continues as the Sierra Leone Football Association has officially announced the appointment of French national Didier Gomez da Rosa as the new head coach of Sierra Leone national football team, Leone Stars. The appointment marks the beginning of a new era for Sierra Leone football as the Football Association looks to strengthen the national team and enhance its competitiveness on the continental and international stage. According to the SLFA, Coach Didier Gomez da Rosa brings with him a wealth of international coaching experience, having managed clubs and national teams across Africa and Asia. His coaching resume includes multiple league and cup triumphs, as well as a proven record of developing teams and achieving success in diverse football environments. However, many football analysts and supporters consider Coach Didier's appointment as an unfair way to treat qualified Sierra Leoneans who are also capable in that capacity. For more on this, we have been joined in the studio by the head of sports desk at Star Radio and Television, Hilton John. Good morning, welcome to the program.
Good morning, madam. It's a pleasure.
And also we have in the studio sports analyst and journalist, Pa Alisise. Good morning, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Esther. Good morning, Sheko, and viewers and listeners.
Okay, so I start with you, Hilton. First of all, I want to know your stance. So, what do you make up of the appointment of the new head coach for the national team?
For me, it is disappointing from the point of the Sierra Leone Football Association. You may recall that the past month there were a lot of wrangling within the football fraternity in terms of the stability of a coach. Mohamed Kalon was appointed by the then executive of the Football Association. There is this belief of the current dispensation that Mohamed failed to support them publicly in the August 2nd clandestine election in Lungi. So since we returned back from Lungi, the issue about Mohamed who supporters who sack Mohamed was going out like a rumor to the public. So what went wrong with the Football Association taking a department held by John Kista? They suspended Mohamed internally. They wrote Mohamed a letter. The letter was signed by John Kista, who served as the Secretary General of the Technical Committee of the Football Association. He suspended Mohamed, set Mohamed aside. But before that, the Football Association was invited by FIFA to be part of the FIFA Seas. We're supposed to play against Azerbaijan. The question that the ESCO asks, that Kista have the right to suspend Mohamed? Some of them said no, Kista doesn't have the right. Kista is an employee of the Football Association. How can he suspend the head coach? So Kista sent another letter to Mohamed, and then they reinstated Mohamed. Mohamed came in, he attended the match, he served as a head coach in Azerbaijan, who played good football. Sierra Leoneans were satisfied with the performance of the team. The match ended 1-1. We went on penalty, we lose on penalty, and then the team returned back. Just after the team returned back, 2 weeks after then, we saw the Football Association came out a press release, and Mohamed was sacked as the head coach of the national team. Many school of thought asking the question, why Mohamed Kalon has been sacked by this executive? In the public domain, social media, some supporters are saying that it is because Mohamed failed to listen to what they want. It is because of Mohamed doesn't have license. The issue of a license was a big question about the qualification of Mohamed. Mohamed is a UEFA Pro license. There is this system that you have to renew your license. So the issue came out that Mohamed Kalon license has expired. He has to renew his license. The technical department found out it. That's why he has been suspended. When the Football Association came out publicly, I vividly recall the Secretary General, yes, Engineer Benson Bao, he told the public that Mohamed was sacked because of indiscipline. That's what the Football Association stated. The Football Association has different committee who has the responsibility of running football. You have disciplinary committee. Let's assume that disciplinary is the watchword from the point of the Football Association. That's why Mohamed was sacked. Did the Sierra Leone Football Association have any incidents where they reported the issue to the disciplinary committee? Did they invite Mohamed for a hearing? The answer is no. Just because of the personal vendetta, just because of the hatred, just because of this mentality that Mohamed failed to support us publicly in the August 2nd.
But now, Hilton, the story has developed. It has developed to a point where, after his sacking, there was this notification for application.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He applied.
Yes, that's for sure.
He applied.
Yes.
Now the story has gotten to a point where we've passed the where he was sacked.
Yes. Or why he was sacked. Yeah.
Now we're at a point where he reapplied.
Yes.
You know what probably I can say he applied.
Yeah.
When the announcement notice was out.
Yeah.
But then, are you also disappointed that even, you know, having gone through all those hurdles,
Yeah.
he decided to apply when a vacancy was declared?
Yes.
And he was not appointed. Are you disappointed?
Yes, absolutely. The Football Association put out the pressure that they are looking out for a coach. According to them, 79 coaches applied for the job. 3 local coaches, Mohamed Kalon, Abedi, Uzalaji Foye, and Mohamed Kamara, formerly called NL. Mohamed Amin Kamara, the under 20 coach, who did well to qualify Sierra Leone to the Nations Cup, and we were knocked out in the quarterfinals. Mohamed decided to apply, according to him, because he's a patriot. He wants to serve. He wants to prove many people wrong. He believes he has what it takes to take the national team where we want to be. We want to be in the Nations Cup come 2027. So what the Football Association did, they cooked this whole issue about Mohamed. Even the coach they appointed was one of the applicants, but they contacted the coach before the application came out. The coach.
How can you confirm?
Yes, I'm
such
coming.
allegations?
This allegation is
Yes,
huge.
let me lay my premise.
Okay.
What they did, the coach came in, was it on Tuesday? The coach came to Sierra Leone. They picked him up from Lungi. Somebody sent me the picture of the coach, the person working at the Football Association. I'm not going to give him my source. And the coach is only count to don't count the convey on Friday. You know, I know nothing. I was the first journalist who posted this coach picture out on social media. That was on Wednesday. My brother told me that, no, this is not the coach. You are lying. There are a lot of people bash at me on the social media that I'm giving false story. I'm painting bad story about the coach, but this is not the coach. On Friday, the coach was officially unveiled by the Sierra Leone Football Association. He called me again. Oh, so again on Tuesday, we go post and say, my brother Pali. I told him that Pali, I know how to do my job.
Okay,
Let's be honest to ourselves. Let's be honest to ourselves before coming. Sorry, we have qualified coaches. If you watch into the history of those who have qualified Sierra Leone to major competition, from junior competition under 17, we got Musa Kalon, who qualified Sierra Leone to the FIFA World Cup. Under 20, we have MM, the Eastern Lands coach, who qualified Sierra Leone to the Nations Cup of the under 20. In the national team, we have the likes of John Kista, who qualified Sierra Leone to the 2021 Nations Cup. So for me, getting a foreigner, more especially with the vendetta shown by this current dispensation on Mohamed Kalon, the way I was sacked, the way how they did the scrutiny, for me, it was a plan to kick Mohamed Kalon out of national team and give responsibility to a coach that they can control.
Pali, let me bring you in. I'm quite sure you have been hearing from Hilton. He made a lot of allegations, and I'll say the allegations. And he said, first of all, he said it was a disappointment that De La Rosa was appointed as head coach. What do you make up of his assertions?
Thank you again, Esther. May I say good morning to listeners and viewers again. Yes, Hilton will disappoint. The reason being, is a sympathizer of the past administration, Otomoda Dibama, that was kicked out on the August 2nd, 2015. Is not part of this administration. Appointing Didier Gomez da Rosa, according to the Football Association, it is the best move and the way for them to see Sierra Leone qualify in the next AFCON after we have failed into 2 qualifications, the one in Ivory Coast and the just completed in Morocco. After 2 decades we qualify in Cameroon. So the Football Association sacked Mohamed Kalon. As she rightly said, it's an old story, we will no more go to that, but because of indiscipline, lack of respect and insubordination for the authorities that employ him, where they believe that in a proper administration, you have to abide by the dictates, the decision taken by your employer. When they advertise the job for
so
coaches,
before going further, Pali, are you saying Kalon was a non-conformist?
Indirectly saying.
I was expecting you to have the press release that led to the sacking of Mohamed Kano. It was part of the.
No, based on what you explained,
yes,
he was not cooperative.
Yeah, with the authorities.
There was some form of insubordination.
Insubordination, and discipline.
So in other words, is the perception, the optics, in the public is that it is because he did not allow himself to be controlled wrongly. That is the perception of the public right now. And in public opinions are very essential when it comes to a debate, like this. Yeah. That is what people are perceiving. That is the optics out there. That he was sacked because he was giving the cow and somebody else was holding the rope, and he was not allowed, given the free hand. One thing that micromanagement does is that it stifles creativity and also reduces morale. And based on what Mohamed said after his sacking, that was exactly what happened. There were attempts to stifle him, and he resisted. And because of that, he became the bad guy, and he was kicked out.
Okay, Sheikh, if you allow me, please, I'm just responding to the question asked and interjected, but I will still respond.
No, it depends on what.
No, I understand. I still stand by the point because I'm talking with authority by fact based on the press release issued by the Football Association that based on administrative and technical issue, Mohamed Kano got sacked. Yeah, everybody working for his own institution. You're working for SABC, you have the editorial policy. If you want to go beyond the editorial policy, there will be checks and balance for you in that reason. The SFA has what we refer to as football philosophy, which is to work within the Football Association with the technical department. If you want to go, you want to mask the deadline, they will caution you. Not about controlling, not about micromanage or what he was saying. And there's a thin thread between interference and what you call controlling. Whenever they are giving you the job, it's unfortunate that he has never got a written contract when Babadi Kama administration took over, just a verbal contract from the past administration. So Babadi Kama was trying to do, let's have a contract written with a clause that you have to work by this contract documentation presented to you. So we are dragging back and forth of it till they had this Azerbaijan. It all started for the Azerbaijan team. That is refusing the head of the team, the head of the technical team, the team manager, to go to the dressing room to talk to people, to address player. He said he not allow them. So when they even interfere, Mohamed Kano, no, you have to allow the team manager to give his own bite, his own talk to the team manager. Minus the press conferences, refusing when they asked him to go for press conferences. He had never been attending press conferences under the administration. So you look at it that when the delegation returned back, there was a report written by the head of the delegation, which is Vice President One, Ali Badarata Ali, to the Exco. There was a meeting held. You look at it, because of indiscipline according to what the press release that was issued, that all what happened, they cannot allow that.
But then, what is your view on, even like I mentioned earlier, the story has developed. It has gotten to a point where now we are talking about him also applying after his position was declared vacant. He applied, and in Sierra Leone every day we talk about. Now we know that we know all what happened. Accusations, counter accusations, allegations, counter allegations. All of that we know. But he applied. In the midst of all of those controversies, he applied. And every day we talk about local content policy. So, and in his own situation, local content policy was not applied.
Thank you. For me, I have my own reservation on local content policy. We talk about local, maybe some of our product produced here cannot compare to the one that come from the international product. So, if you have to standardize your product, if you want to compete with other foreign products, we have to talk about local content policy. Mohamed Kano, yes, did apply. There's other different schools that should not be applied. Should have just forget because he went on here. Describing this present admission as carpenter one in football. Those you are called carpenter one in football. You want to go and work under those people you.
So was that the reason he was not appointed? Because he
I said I'm just talking about his application or when he went and he applied because according to him he loved Sierra Leone. That's why he applied. But he went and accused or made some allegation against the one that he wants to work with as carpenter that's one in football. But the reason they have the qualification that was given, the criteria. According to the president of the Football Association, out of the 79 applicants, the 3 local coaches that applied and the 76 international coaches, only 10 that met the requirement. That was on Friday.
Kalon among the 10?
Kalon was not among the 10.
So what is actually the requirement that is wanted by the association for someone to be appointed as head coach?
I think one among is your experience, whether you have 4 or 5 years experience in terms of coaching top league. I say 5 years experience in coaching top tier league. Among the list, that's all about. Look at the 5 years experience. Kalon did not have any 5 years experience in coaching top tier league. He don't have any years. In fact, he came to Sierra Leone when Amadou Karim was the coach of FC Kalon. He hoped to take FC Kalon 2 years back before appointed as Leone coach. He has never coached for 5 years.
So, Paddy, looking at this present coach that is appointed, his track record was all over social media.
Yes.
Do you think that with the track record he has, will he be able to qualify Sierra Leone for AFCON?
He was appointed based on his track record. 10 countries he has coached with club and 2 national, Mauritania and that of Botswana.
Have they qualified for any major competition?
Well, already when he was appointed as coach of Mauritania, he went to them with the AFCON. He didn't win any matches in the group stage. 3 matches after the AFCON, he got sacked. He went to Botswana, he coached Botswana. On the verge of qualifying Botswana, he resigned based on leadership issue, not on monetary, because they also had some football political wrangling among the new FA president, Tariq Santinga, which he resigned because he said, based on loyalty, the one that brought him in, so he don't want to be part of their football wrangling. So he resigned. So looking at his club track record, he have coached 15 clubs in 10 different countries. 8 among them in Africa. So the FA is looking somebody who was wealth of Africa experience in Africa football, and 15 years of his coaching, has spent all those 15 years in Africa.
But the coach in question has not qualified any country for any major competition.
Yeah, the 2 countries.
So do you think he will be able to qualify Sierra Leone for AFCON?
You should have asked Manchester United why did they bring in I'm coming. I'll not answer your question. Teram did well at Sporting, won the league. In fact, he went unbeaten, won the league title. When he came to Manchester, he had the worst record. He got sacked and they brought in Amory.
So, Pali, do you think the coach in question will qualify Sierra Leone for AFCON?
Yes, the reason
considering his track record.
Well, you cannot base on track record because there are many coaches who have a track record.
No,
I never qualified. He was appointed. Listen to me. Let us don't misconstrue what I'm saying. He was appointed based on the track record. So qualifying the national team on track record, not in all cases coaches can qualify team based on their track record. Okay. That's why I brought in a lot of examples. The Amo issue, the exact to name but few.
Okay, continue to stay with us in the program. He is Pa Alisise, and he's a sports analyst and journalist. And also earlier we had Hilton John, who is head of sports desk at Star Radio and Television. Well, quickly take a health tip of today, and today we look at the difference between norepinephrine and epinephrine. When you're stressed, your body releases norepinephrine and epinephrine. While these neurotransmitters and hormones are very similar, there are key differences. Here's what you need to know. Watch and learn.
Stress is unavoidable. And when you feel stressed, your body activates an emergency response by releasing norepinephrine and epinephrine. So what's the difference between them? Both are neurotransmitters and hormones that play a vital role in your body's fight or flight response. But norepinephrine is the most common neurotransmitter in your sympathetic nervous system, while epinephrine acts mainly as a hormone. Norepinephrine can increase alertness, arousal, and attention, constrict your blood vessels, dilate eyes, affect your sleep-wake cycle, mood, and memory. Epinephrine is released as a response to stress and can increase heart rate, increase breathing, dilate eyes, increase blood flow and oxygen to your muscles, increase energy, stimulate metabolism. Both can also be used as a medication. Norepinephrine is typically used as an infusion to increase and maintain blood pressure in emergency situations like cardiac arrest or drug reactions. Epinephrine, which can be used as an injection or aerosol, can be used to treat severe asthma by opening airways and decreasing airway spasms. It's also the first response treatment for anaphylaxis, a severe, life-threatening allergic reaction. If you have questions about norepinephrine and epinephrine, don't hesitate to talk to a healthcare provider.
Lots of my health tip of today. Well, we still have the sport desk and star in television, Hilton John, and also a sports analyst and journalist, Pa Alice Stay. Now, Pali, you heard from let me ask Hilton. You heard from Pali. He said the coach in question has the know-how to qualify Sierra Leone for the AFCON. What do you think of such a fashion?
Maybe you see, I had Pali talking about Monica never attended. That's a false statement. In Italy, and he was excited when we were just talking to the camera. He attended a conference in Egypt, also in Ethiopia. He attended a conference. He's talking about qualification. This coach, the Football Association gives the hope. Now, coach 18 days, they only win 1, lose 15, and draw 2. The same coach has the same qualification of Monica, the UEFA player, is the highest qualification in coach. Monica is the only coach that can boast of UEFA Poland. It's just because of the political language, as I told you earlier on. There is a belief that Mohamed was supported by the executive. Let's assume that Mohamed supported by the executive. Would they say if sack Mohamed Kalon? The answer is no. Why Abedi, the assistant coach, who now has been appointed or was appointed? Because he supported Babadi Kamara. Why the backroom staff of the Sierra Leone Football Association of our national team, as we speak now, 99% of those who have been appointed are coming from Bolingers. I'll give you the name. Team manager, Bolingers. Assistant coach 1, Bolingers. Team doctor, Bolingers. Physio, Bolingers. Goalkeeper coach, Bolingers. What is this?
Because of competency.
Are they the only people who compete? Just from one
So Hilton,
yeah.
Based on the assertions you are making,
Yeah.
it seems as though some form of nepotism, is happening here.
Absolutely.
Because if, for example, even though Pali argues that it is because they are competent,
Yeah.
but then is this going to tell us that there are no other competent people around, who have the capacity to fill those positions, I think so. If what you are saying is true, then it means it is clear nepotism.
Yeah.
Okay, now let us talk about the competitions that Mekaro took part in. Now, we qualified to AFCON Cameroon with 7 points.
Yeah, that was in 2021.
7 points,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
In this World Cup campaign, Aminu Karim secured 5 points.
Yeah.
Kalon 10.
Yes.
This is a history, for a very long time. In all competitions, Sierra Leone has not come out with those points.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, that's for sure.
15 points.
Yeah.
I don't know, probably it happened years back.
Yeah, donkey years ago.
But in
When
recent times,
Yeah.
it hasn't.
Yeah.
So that by itself is, a scorecard that Mohamed Kalon should be proud of. But if Pali is, is making his assertions based on track records or performance, then I think Mohamed Kalon, did well during his stewardship.
But some schools of thought are saying Mohamed Kalon has never won the Premier League, which is a local league.
No,
he
we are
has been
talking about those last year. So
Yeah.
now, how
I'm
is
just
it
saying,
to the club?
some schools of thought,
But that's the club coach.
so some schools of thought are saying he has
Yes.
never won the Premier League,
Yes.
and now he's saying he's going to qualify the team for AFCON. That has been the argument
It's
around.
optimism. You should be optimistic in what you are doing. For example, I would challenge anybody in this country that I'm capable of serving as commentator in the Nations Cup. I am, because I know my stuff. I've been a commentator for 25 years. Talking about Mohamed Kalon serving as or never win the Premier League. When they took over FC Kalon, was it 3 or 4 years ago? He was not a coach. When Mohamed Kalon served as head coach of his own club, we see the system of football from FC Kalon. Mohamed Kalon got 65%, as what Sheko was saying. It only lost 2 games for Leone Stars. It got a clean sheet record when he served that short period when he was appointed. It's just because of the malice, I keep on saying. It's the personal vendetta. It's the political witch hunt. They demonstrated against Mohamed Kalon. There is this belief that Mohamed Kalon never supported the current dispensation. And this is totally mad.
But then
John
now,
Mohamed
talking
Kalon by
about
confidence.
a backroom staff,
Yeah.
you know, there are some people who are with this view, but one of the mistakes he did was he, in some kind of way, you know, now we are accusing Babadi of nepotism.
Yeah.
That he also practiced nepotism by appointing his brothers, you know, as part of the backroom staff. You know, we know one of them, they did very well, they played for the national team.
Yeah.
You know, for example, John Kalon, Musa Kalon.
Yeah.
These are guys who contributed to football.
Yeah.
But then the question is, there are other competent people, you know, in this football business, you know, who probably would have been appointed to serve in those capacities. And then he went ahead and appointed his brothers, his blood brothers.
Yes, it's not.
So if we are accusing everybody of nepotism,
And even in team selections, you see most of his players,
Yes, but
his FC Kalon players on the national team.
Let me tell you this. If you watch the number of FC Kalon players playing the national team, you have like Theo T. Yeah.
When Kalon is the coach.
Yes. Rojo serves as a defender. He's Abubakar Jallo is the actual name. You have Sali Tarawali, who is still with
His
the national
captain,
team.
yes.
Because of his consistent performance, every coach is selected him. He was selected by John Kisa, he was selected by Amadou Karim, he was selected by Mohamed, and now he was selected by John Kisa again in the national. Let me give you the difference. It is part of the tier of Mohamed Kalon. Kalon signed contract with the National Sports Authority. There's a different, our system of football is running. There is this still in fight with the Ministry of Sport. It is not even the NSC and the Football Association who controls Leone Stars. Mohamed signed a contract with the National Sport Authority under the then Executive Director, Dr. Imam Safa Abdullahi. It is part of his responsibility that you bring in your own backroom staff. That's why Mohamed Kalon brought in Musa Kalon and also Kemokai Kalon. The goalkeeper coach was called.
no, what we're saying here is that it's not about now. He was given the go ahead,
Yes.
according to whatever contract. Even though some now argue, but that contract was a verbal contract.
Yeah.
There wasn't anything written. Now the thing is, for the fact that yes, he was given the okay to bring his own backroom staff.
Yeah.
But then the argument is we have some other Cameroonians who are competent enough to fill in those positions that he brought his own brother to come occupy. That is the argument here.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about, you know, yes, we know he was given the okay, he was given the go ahead to appoint his own backroom staff. But I mean, there are other people who could have been in those, positions.
Well, in your view, you might be correct, but that's the difference I'm citing. That this is different from what we are seeing now. The team is controlled by John Kista, who serves as the caretaker coach of our games. What they did, all those who worked with Mohamed, they were sacked. Let's say you want to take Mohamed out. Mohamed is the man that everybody is saying, or they are saying that he never supported Babadi. So what about the other coaches? I do not see Leonians. Let's say you don't want to give Mohamed Kalon a job. You have ML who qualifies Sierra Leone to the Under-20 Nations Cup. He was kicked out or they were defeated in the quarterfinals for the first time in history. You have Musa Kalon who qualified Sierra Leone in the Under-17 World Cup. For God's sake, we're emphasizing local content. We have quality coaches. We have good coaches in the country. But everything is about politics. Everything is about that. The fight they demonstrated was for Mohamed Kalon, nothing else.
So, Pali, I have to bring you in. You've been hearing from Hilton. You made mention of the qualified Sierra Leoneans that would have been able to qualify Sierra Leone for the AFCON. And he said the appointment of a foreign coach is due to personal vendetta for Mohamed Kalon. What would you say with regards to that?
Well, I don't think so from the Football Association. What they did is based on international best practice and standard. You can sack coach, all their Bakum staff can go. Others can sack the head coach and leave the Bakum staff. So if the head team, I'm challenging it, is saying that Gomez 18 games, yeah, for what we are saying that we are on TV.
Yeah.
Let's take our personal grudge, please. Say the fact, go and Google about this man, check his statistics. That's why I said on club level, he has a better winning rate record. 6 matches he won with national team, 4 with Botswana, 2 with Mauritania. I'm telling anybody listening to this program now, he had a very good, stronger rate in club coaching.
Oh, no, he's going to coach our country.
So fine. So if he's going to coach our country, that's why I said, let's wait and see. But now we are preempting. That's what we are saying. So we are preempting this now. If he fails, all these questions will come to pass.
What's your views on yesterday's match against the Lone Stars of Liberia? In very few seconds, yes, Hilton.
Yesterday we saw this performance from our team. It was embarrassing. The performance of the team. It was started in the southern region in Bo. When I watched it, the performance was not good. No good football. The players were scattered. And yesterday we saw it in Liberia.
Someone will say it is because, is this support for Kalon.
But
that makes you believe.
No, it's not about.
But everything that happens now in the FA is bad.
No, Sheikh, it's not about Kalon. You watch Amidou when he served as Minister coach. We saw good football for our country. It's not so. You were pleased with Amidou. Despite going tape down of the qualifiers, he failed to qualify us when Mohamed Kalon was given the responsibility. Okay. When Kalon took over, we saw a better structured football for Leone Stars.
Yes.
So
Compete.
that's why we should wait for the they are not going to they are not going to in fact, they are one of the witnesses in the first case. So let me continue. No, I never.
Can we have a conversation?
Now,
I'm afraid we have to
in very few seconds, please.
Yeah. So on the match yesterday, we are not pleased with the performance. It was a bad performance from the team, but thank God it was the caretaker coach and he's stepping down. So the coach will take over now from there. So let's watch what this new coach will bring to the national team.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Hilton. Quickly, let us go over the papers. We are just going to read some few headlines, and I'll start with the Awareness Times newspaper, which says, amidst the sabotage, government policy had worked. Dr. Sylvia Blading on keeping girls safe from FGM. These are Honorable Ahmed Sebon Kanu bounces back into light as Deputy Minister of Fisheries. These are some of the stories you can see in the Awareness Times newspaper.
Africa 24 Communications newspaper banner headline says, "He is a loner with no hope. You are not serving SLPP. Well, resist them. Speaker urges appointees." Well, these stories and many more you can find on the Africa 24 Communications newspaper.
From there, we move on to the Standard Times. And the Standard Times says, "Arise and Crips salary payment exposed. University of Sierra Leone." Now, also here is massive welcome for Saya Fishing Company Managing Director. These are some of the stories you can see in the Standard Times newspaper.
Independent Observer newspaper banner headline says that a host of stories here. Fatima Bio, culture and change, radical change, human face, the leadership Sierra Leone needs next. These stories and many more you can find on the Independent Observer newspaper.
Now, from there, we move on to the Equality Now newspaper, and it says EU sanction threat is fake. Here they are quoting the Minister of Information and Civic Relations, Chernobyl. PPRC Gazette, MPP, this is a new movement. All these and more you can see in these newspapers. But then if you want to get entertainment and sports, you can check the back pages of each of these newspapers.
Well, we must quickly note that this headlines together does not reflect the views of the SLBC.
Definitely, because we are merely reviewing the papers, and that is how we say goodbye. It has been Good Morning Sierra Leone, which came to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, television, and through our social media handles. Many thanks to Milton and Ali, for your analysis this morning.
And
many
also
thanks also to Silvanos Blake from the Anti-Graft Agency, the ACC. Many thanks to the entire production team, especially producers Daphne General Kamara. I am Sheikh Usmaya.
And I am Esther Sako. Quickly take our quote of the day, and it's from American screenwriter Aaron Sorkin, and it says, "Don't ever forget that a small group of thoughtful people can change the world. It's the only thing that ever has." Good Morning Sierra Leone returns tomorrow. Stay glued to your public podcaster, the SLBC, if you can. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.
As a mother of the house, whenever I want to prepare palm soup, there's no need pounding palm fruit. All I need is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. My soup is done, and its preparation, it is not difficult at all. Nkulenu palm soup base, it's easily done with no difficulties. Just take few ladles and your soup is done. And its flavor, it's amazing. This is Nkulenu's Ghana's original palm soup base. And this is Nkulenu's Ghana's original spiced palm soup base. Iron fruit and turkey berries are naturally added.
Also available Brown Gold Natural Cocoa Powder, Sunny Gold Brown Sugar, Neat Fufu Flour, Shito, Pisap, and Moringa. All available at Nyami Ado Enterprise, 1 Lower Waterloo Street, Freetown.
Nkulenu palm soup base.
Ghanaian original taste.